Metroid. Metroid. Metroid for short. This is a non-Metroid. This is an actual Metroid. Behind the non-Metroid spacesuit is not a non-Metroid man, it's specifically a non-Metroid actual woman called Samus Aran. Samus is a bounty hunter trained by space birds, saving the world from pirates, bioweapons, parasites, and other cool stuff. Repeat after me. Thank you, Japan, for once again giving me something I didn't know I needed. Stop, focus, thank you. The context. In order to understand the games, we have to go back in time. The 70s. Good times. Wasn't there, but I've seen the show. Back then, two things were cool. Weed and going to the moon. Fast forward to 77, which was the year this guy broke new ground for the sci-fi genre through some random movie called Star Wars Episode IV Neo Hopi. A great movie according to Money. If space was starting to get cool before this, it was now super popular. Enter Ridley Scott. He wanted to do a movie called Alien, so he asked kindly, "Dear movie industry, can I please?" They said no. He asked them again, "Pretty please?" They said no. But, said Ridley, this guy got to do it, and so 20th Century Fox said, "Cool argument, bro, let's make you make us money." 2 years later, the movie Alien rolled out in cinemas. It had everything a movie needed back then. Space, action, subtle American patriotism, brain of horror, a lot of chats, and wait, what? A woman saving cats? It was dope, but it was also a very important movie and a big inspirational source for the non-Metroid, non-man actual woman, Samus Aran. Alien the movie is about a woman called Ripley, whose name is suspiciously close to the director's name. Ripley works on a spaceship together with friends and they're on the way home from work. But wait, something's calling their ship. Beep boop. Beep boop. We must locate the beep boop.
God, doesn't sound like any radio signal I've heard.
Almost all agree. And so they go to the planet of the beep boop, and there's a lot of nasty alien bad boys there doing alien stuff. Probably problem happens and they leave the planet and one of the aliens joins their ship. Mr. Alien do the alien stuff, but now on the ship, which is kind of frowned upon. So the whole movie quickly turns into a horror survival fiesta on an isolated spaceship. Great movie. Fast forward to 83, we had a bit of this and we had a bit of that, and it was time to bring gaming directly to you. Boom. Nintendo's Famicon. Switching from arcades to home consoles, nerds didn't have to go outside anymore. Score. The Famicon had a lot of hits, such as the Jumpy Italian plumber guy, now known from the movie, and Slashy Green Boy, known for postponing. The Jumpy guy was a side-scroller, linear, never look back kind of game, and Slashy Boy was kind of a non-linear exploration game seen from above. In both games, you're a man saving a princess. This guy made both. After a couple of hits and a lot of arcade ports, the president of Nintendo said, "I have children's money. I want more." And so they started to focus more on teenagers. So he asked a former janitor to assemble the A-Team, who ended up creating the first game in the Metroid series. The A-Team consisted of 3 disc guys. The first disc guy out of all these guys, seen from the left, is Makoto Kano, the creator of characters and scenario. The second disc guy is Hiroji Kiyotake, and he did the paint. Last out of these guys is this guy, Yoshio Sakamoto, director, big brain, and credit taker. They asked each other, what game should we do? One of them said, space is kinda cool. Have you seen the movie Alien? Another one replied,
"Oh my god, I love that movie."
And so they decided to name a boss after the director of the film, Ridley. In the middle of 1986, the first game of the Metroid series was released for the Famicom. Aiming for an older audience and make Papa Nintendo happy, they took a lot of different steps than the Mario plus Zelda guy. The concept of Metroid. Space pirates are messing with the federal police, and at some point they stole a creature called Metroid from the Federal Research Unit. Metroids are known for sucking the energy out of people and basically being killing machines. The police calls bounty hunter Samus, and they say, "Space pirates took our Metroids. Yeah, it's the same pirates who killed your biological parents. And yeah, it's the Metroids who killed the Chosos, your foster parents, and making you an orphan twice. Help?" Samus replied, "I'm good." The police replied, "You'll get a lot of money." To which Samus replied, "See you in 10. So, you play the game as Samus running around pew-pewing aliens in the space pirates hideout on the planet Zebes. The game is non-linear, meaning go this direction and it's okay. Go this direction and it's okie doke. So on, so forth. You start the game with almost no health and you have to explore the world to find different power-ups hidden throughout the world. In the game there are no friendly NPCs, there are no characters that can talk or even look similar to humans. You're all by yourself, surrounded by scary aliens. The game is planned like Zelda, in a sense that the map is big and you need to have power-ups to reach some areas, but you don't have to collect all of them in order to beat the game, which is different from the Slashy Boys game. People could finish the game and have different experiences depending on what route they took, almost like an early concept of an open world. The atmosphere in the game was a lot scarier than other games for the console. You started out in the upmost area where the music was peppy and the enemies were few to few. The deeper you got into the maze, the weirder and thinner the music got. The spacious, minimalistic sounds combined with the loneliness in outer space was all very much reminding one of the movie Alien. The game had 3 bosses, Kraid, Ridley and the main boss, the Mother Brain, with a lot of Metroid sprinkled in between towards the end. The game was extremely hard. Back then they only had a couple of kilobytes in order to fit the whole game, so instead of making it bigger like you do it today, they made it harder so that it would take much more time in order to finish it. With the attention span of people today, nobody would ever have finished this game.
Look, a butterfly! I'm not even outside.
The gameplay loop is 1. Find some power-ups by exploring. 2. Do the pew-pew to the bosses. And 3. Get back to the spaceship before the planet self-destructs. Now you might think, wow, the Metroid guys were so woke having a female protagonist action hero. And that's one point of view. Alien did the same thing and it was epic. But there's a 4th point to the gameplay loop. Complete the game faster and faster. Depending on how fast you beat the game, you see the protagonist take off the suit. If you beat the game under 3 to 5 hours, Samus takes off her helmet, revealing her hair and the fact that she's a woman. Before this, the player had no idea of her being a woman, since nobody ever suggests it and even the manual says that she's a man. So woke, so cool. But if you beat the game in under 1 to 3 hours, she takes off the whole suit standing there in little to no clothes. If you beat the game in under the hour, poor Samus has to wave at you in a bikini. They were so close to take a cool step for the industry. Metroid came to be such a special game, it created its own subgenre, called Metroidvania, describing games like these. It was a non-linear 2D side-scrolling game with Zelda puzzles. It was one of a kind. And the controls were very special too. If you had all the power-ups, you could jumpy jump sideways, jumpy jump how much you want while doing damage and being invisible to damage, pew-pewing with different guns, having Ice Beam as the most important one, Sonic mode but with bombs. In the jumpy Italian Plumber Man's game, you could jump and fireball. The eerie vibe on the lonely planet made the game almost a bit horror-like, which was even more emphasized in later installments of the series. With Metroid, Nintendo took a very important step into the more adult realm of video games, showing other developers on the console how to do it right. Papa Nintendo was satisfied. Since '86, the original Metroid game has been ported at least 6 times, with the latest port being on the Switch. It has also been remade into a game called Metroid Zero Mission for the GBA. For those who wants to play the whole main series, it will be possible to do so owning a Switch later this year, if you're paying a little bit extra for the expansion pass. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Okay, bye.